What's going on, everybody? My name is Justin Gregory and I'm here to clear the air on all things surfboard baggage fees. So I spent literally dozens and dozens and dozens of hours combing 169 different airlines' fine print to figure out what is the cheapest, overall best option, and bang for your buck airlines for flying surfboards essentially anywhere in the world. It took me an incredibly long time. But before we dive into each and every airline specifically, there's a couple things I want to talk about just to get us started on the right foot. First and foremost, again, I spent a lot of time, did a lot of research to figure out what is the most accurate and up-to-date information. Airlines change their policies every single day, it seems like. But what I tell you, what their website tells you may be one thing, what that person at the ticket counter, the ticket agent, may tell you completely separate thing. And it's just something to take into consideration, right? Again, I think a lot of these ticket agents, they're just used to processing hundreds and possibly thousands of travelers every single day. And when we rock up with our 7 or 8 foot surfboard, it's just out of the normal for them. A lot of people just probably aren't up to date with whatever their company policy is, or it's just out of the norm. Like I said, it throws them off guard. So one thing I like to think of and consider when going to the airport and flying surfboards, wherever it may be, is to bring a good positive attitude to that person that you're gonna be working with or talking to get your surfboards on the plane. So that's just something to take into consideration. When you show up to the airport and you got your surfboard with you, maybe just have an extra smile ready, you know, a positive attitude, some good vibes that you bring into the ticket agent. It may get you a long way. And a good example of this is me flying from Bali to LA last year. So last year I did a surf trip in Bali. I flew from LAX to Bali with no surfboards, but I bought a couple of boards in Bali, which I highly recommend. Super cheap, well made. Got a bag, packaged them up super secure, got them damage proof to the best of my ability, which is an obvious no-brainer when flying with airlines. We all know how these people treat surfboards. Nonetheless, I got my bag ready. I showed up to the airport and the website told me I was gonna spend roughly $300 to $400 to get my surfboards from Bali to LA. So when I checked in my luggage, I checked in my boards, I talked to the ticket agent and she told me that it's gonna have to fly special baggage, and when I get to LA, there's gonna be a guy who takes me my surfboard and I'm gonna be charged at LA for that bag. No problem. I went on with my way, and 20 hours later I landed in LA. And there I was sitting at the carousel waiting for my luggage just like everybody else, and here comes this guy smiling, bringing me my surfboards. He hands it to me, I shake his hand, I thank him, I look around, there's nobody to be charged. There's nobody there to charge me. There's no ticket counter, there's nothing, there's just a door waiting for me to go through where my Uber is gonna be waiting. So I don't know what happened. I don't really have an explanation for you. So it's just a little example that whatever I tell you, it's gonna be the best information to my knowledge and to the best of my ability, but take it with a grain of salt. It's a bit of a roll of the dice when you're working with airlines. Another thing to consider is a lot of the size restrictions that they put on surfboard baggage aren't just standard length requirements. They use what is called linear inches, and how linear inches works is they take the height of your luggage, the width of your luggage, and the thickness, they add those together to create what is your linear inches. So hypothetically speaking, if you got a board bag that's 100 inches long, 50 inches wide, and 10 inches thick, it's gonna be 160 linear inches. That being said, let's dive into it. First and foremost, I got my list right here, and I'm referencing an article that I wrote. So if you wanna do an in-depth guide, you wanna reference this in the future, I highly recommend going to hoststevie.com/blog, checking out this surfboard baggage airline article that I wrote, and you can reference it whenever you so please and figure out whatever your restrictions are for whatever airline you're gonna be flying with. And on that point, there's a lot of comments at the bottom of this article with personal stories telling you exactly what experiences surfers had with whatever airlines they've flown with, and it's super good insight because I take that as pretty good information. So with that being said, if you have experience with any of the airlines I'm going to mention in this video, leave a comment below, whether it's good or bad. Regardless, it's good information for people like me and you to hear what other people have to say and what their experiences were, so we can make the best decision for our travels. So with that being said, we have 10 overall picks that are the best options in our minds for flying, and these airlines can get you anywhere in the world, and they have the best bang for your buck and free options available for you. First and foremost on the list, we have Airline. So Airline allows you to fly your surfboards for free as part of your checked baggage allowance. It allows up to 9 foot 8 inches in length and 50 pounds. Pretty good option, good reviews. Next, we have Air Tahiti Nui. Air Tahiti Nui allows your surfboards to fly for free as checked baggage. As long as your board bag is under 50 pounds and 8 foot 2 inches long, you should be pretty good. Good option. Next, this is a personal favorite of mine. I've flown with them many times with surfboards, and this is Alaskan Airlines. Alaskan Airlines is not not necessarily cheap, free, but it is very cheap. Anything, in my opinion, under $50 to fly surfboards is pretty reasonable. And Alaskan Airlines, they have a pretty good reputation behind them. I've flown a bunch of times. They offer free stickers. Almost every airline I know of offers, not free stickers, excuse me, fragile stickers. I always slap a few of those on my board bag and they treat it pretty well. But Alaskan Airlines charges you $30 for your surfboard to fly both ways, and they allow up to 9 foot 7 inches in length to fly and 50 pounds. It's a pretty good option. Again, I've flown with them a bunch of times. I have nothing but positive things to say. Next, we have All Nippon Airways, also heard of as ANA. These guys allow you to fly your surfboards for free up to 9 feet 5 inches in length and 50 pounds. I'm actually surprised going through a lot of these airlines. The ones I'm mentioning to you are pretty longboard friendly, but for the most part, showing up to any airport with your 10-foot longboard is like showing up to the airport with a 10-foot basketball hoop and asking to check it in. It's just, people are gonna look at you like you're crazy and you're more than likely gonna get turned away. I included every single length and width requirement in every single airline in the article, so if you want to get the information, check it out. But again, pretty surprised. For longboards, All Nippon Airways, pretty good option. Next, we have American Airlines. This is another favorite of mine. They used to charge surfboards at $150 each way, but I guess enough of us complained because they did away with that, and now you can fly surfboards for free, and this one's pretty sweet. They allow surfboards up to 10 feet 5 inches in length and 50 pounds. Pretty good option. Next, we have Corsair. I personally have not heard of Corsair before making this article. When flying with Corsair, you can fly for free with your surfboards as long as it is within 9 foot 8 inches in length and 50 pounds. Pretty good option. Next, we have EasyJet. This is another airline I haven't heard of before doing this research, and they allow surfboards to fly for a $45 sports equipment fee up to 70 pounds. And the thing about EasyJet is EasyJet has a really good reputation among surfers. I've heard nothing but positive things, despite not listing whatever their length requirements are. So under reasonable circumstances, I would imagine a normal size surfboard, you're gonna be good to go. If you are gonna be traveling with a longer board, I recommend maybe giving them a call just to confirm ahead of time. Next, we have another popular airline I've heard of many people having good feedback from these, not just surfers, but people in general, Air Emirates. Air Emirates is a unique one. They allow you to fly your surfboards for free as part of your checked baggage allowance. You're allowed up to 51 pounds and 10 feet in length. Pretty good option. One thing I will say about Air Emirates is I've heard mixed reports from people stating that when they show up to the airport with their surfboard, the ticket agent is a little confused, I guess you could say. They're not up to date with whatever their policy is. So keep this in mind when flying with surfboards. You should be able to fly for free, again, up to 10 feet and 51 pounds, but having this information on hand is probably a good bet. That way, if a ticket agent doesn't know what's going on, they're not up to speed, or somebody's maybe trying to give you the workaround for whatever reason, you can pull that information up, show them, and you can be on your way. Next, we have Qantas. This is another airline that's got really good reviews among surfers. They allow surfboards up to 9 feet in length to fly and 70 pounds, which is good because most airlines that I'm going to talk about are usually between that 40 to 50 pound maximum weight restriction. This is 70. So one thing I personally do, you gotta be careful with this though, is I like to throw my wetsuit in there, extra fins, I like to throw clothes just to free up space so I can just carry with my carry-on luggage and know that everything's gonna be delivered safely in my surfboard bag. But regardless, Qantas Airlines is a good option. They allow your surfboards to fly for free under the restrictions I just talked about. So pretty good option, Qantas Airlines. Let's get on to the next one. Last but not least, we got Royal Brunei. So Royal Brunei allows your surfboard to fly for free. This is up to 9 feet 8 inches in length and 70 pounds. Pretty good airline. It's got good reviews as far as I know of. And that sums up the 10 overall best picks that we've come up with for flying surfboards. Next, we're gonna get into the good stuff. So I'm gonna just rapid fire these at you. These are every single airline in the world, I almost said America, but every single airline in the world that allow you to fly for surfboards for free. It's gonna be a mouthful, so just stick with me here. Here we go. Free surfboard travel. Air Callan, Air Caribbean, Air Corsica, Air Dolomiti, Air India, Air Macau, Air Namibia, Air New Zealand, Air Serbia, Air Tahiti Nui, All Nippon Airways, ANA. We talked about them. American Airlines, Azores Airways, Bangkok Airways, British Airways, Corsair, Delta Airlines, Edelweiss, Emirates, Etihad Airways, Eva Air, Garuda Indonesia, Gulf Air, Japan Airlines, Jet2, KLM, Royal Dutch Airlines, Airlines. This one's a tough one, La Compagnie Airlines. It's fucking Italian, I don't know. Free surfboards. Malaysia Airlines, also free. I don't know if I'd recommend Malaysia. It seems to me they lose a plane every 2 years, so travel at your own risk. Southeast Asia, baby. Oman Air, Porter Airlines, Qantas Airlines, Qatar Airways, Royal Brunei, Scandinavian Airlines, Singapore Airlines, South African Airways, excuse me, Swiss, S7 Airlines, Ural Airlines, Vietnam Airlines, Virgin Australia, Virgin Atlantic, and Viva Airbus, baby. Flying for free. There you have it. Those are all the airlines you can fly for free. There is a bunch more that charge you anywhere between $50 and $450 plus. If you're looking to do a deep dive or get some information on any of the ones not listed in the video I just talked about, check out again hoststevie.com/blog. Check out the article and you can look at whatever airline you are particularly looking for on your flight or on your trip. And that concludes all the airlines and surfboard baggage fees you're likely to encounter. These airlines will literally take you anywhere in the world, and these are the best options I was able to come up with. If you want to do a deep dive, again, check out the blog, check out the article. And the only thing I ask of you is if you have any experience with any of the airlines listed in this video or any of the airlines not listed in this video, leave a comment at the bottom just sharing your experience, whether it's good or bad, like I said, just so people like me and you can get good insight from surfers traveling so we can make the best decision for ourselves wherever we may be going. So that being said, travel safe, we'll see you in the water, and we'll catch you on the next one.